Welcome back, everyone, to Comic-Booksters. This is Nerdcore, just coming back to you with our final interview from Williamsport Comic Con 2017 with Darren Auck. Really interesting guy, and he did me a great Robot Man piece, Cliff Steele, that you'll see in the video. I was super excited to do this, and I hope you like it. Hey, welcome back to the Comic-Booksters coverage of the 2017 Williamsport Comic Con. I'm here with Darren Auck. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing well, thank you.
I'm glad to hear that. So, just to get started, how did you get started in the industry?
Well, I was one of those weird kids that I was always obsessed with comic books, cartoons, Herculoids, the Alex Toth stuff, monster movies, and I always just really valued my time pretty much by myself drawing and writing stuff. So it's not like one day I went, you know what, I really need to professionally be a part of this weirdness. It was gonna happen. You know, like I had no choice in the matter, you know.
Oh, fair enough.
Right.
And you graduated from the Kubert School, and now you're actually an instructor there.
Yep.
But as far as that playing a part in your career moving forward, how did the Kubert School help you with that?
Well, you know, I might sound like a company man here, but Joe and everybody that worked there, Jose Delbo, Hi Eisman, so many more people that were instructors when I came through. I was the class of 83.
Okay.
So, you know, 80, 81, 82 into 83. And Joe was probably my biggest influence as far as being a mentor. And when we were graduating, he was also the guy that would give us a chance at maybe doing some work in, like, say, the Sergeant Rock books. Those were like our first paying gigs.
Nice.
And Joe, it was kind of a transition from where Joe went from being your instructor to being your editor / art director. So, and when I got done at Marvel in like 2001, and I used to be the guy that would come from Marvel to look at the portfolios with the third year crew at Kubert School. And when that wrapped up, he gave me a call. He's like, well, why don't you come work for me? And I'm like, well, that kind of makes all kinds of sense, you know.
That's fairly awesome.
Yeah.
Now, you've done a little bit of everything as far as the industry is concerned.
Right.
Is there an appeal to doing, you know, a certain type of work as opposed to another?
With that, I would say that I like doing the goofy stuff, like the older guys would call it Bigfoot, the cartoony stuff. Like, you know, Rocko or Ren and Stimpy, that stuff was a lot of fun to work on. But at heart, I'm definitely like a superhero monster geek. And it also, to me, it makes it a lot more interesting if you can change it up. You know, like maybe work on something that's kind of grim and maybe a horrible, you know, monster story. And then maybe when you get that to a certain point, then you can kind of change it up and do something that's kind of wacky, kind of fun. I like to be able to change it up a little bit. Okay. The challenge with that is you got to make sure editors and art directors understand that I'm not just the guy that does the cartoony stuff. I can do this for you. I can do this for you. It's almost like you have to remind them, you know, not to, I don't know, typecast you as far as the type of work you do.
All right. Mm-hmm. And are there any properties that you haven't had a chance to work on in your career that you'd be looking forward to do? I know right now you're kind of doing your own thing.
Right.
But
right.
Is there anything, you know, that if someone were to ask you about, that you would hop on in a second?
Well, I got to admit, I'd mentioned the Alex Toth work before. And a friend of mine, Marie Javins, she was editing the Future Quest and some of the Hanna-Barbera stuff at DC. And I didn't get the chance to pitch to her or anything. I was busy with other stuff. But any of the Alex Toth, Herculoids, Birdman, Space Ghost, any of that stuff, that would probably be at the top of the list as far as some kind of comic book bucket list as far as taking care of stuff like that.
All right.
Yeah. And like everybody's answer, Batman. There you go. Everybody wants to do Batman.
Well, having seen your work today, I would love to see you on a Batman book, quite frankly.
Thanks.
And Darren here was very nice enough to do me up this pretty cool Cliff Steele.
One of the more fun
series.
requests I've ever gotten at a show. Thank you.
But it was really awesome. Very proud to have this to add to the collection. Anything coming down the pipeline that you want to tune our viewers into?
Right now, I'm in the middle of writing and penciling pages for what was going to be a comic book. Now it's looking more like a magnum opus graphic novel. But it's, again, being a monster fan, Jersey Devil versus Bigfoot. And I hope to have previews and more stuff done on that later on this summer. So I'll get the word out to you guys when I get it a little further along.
Awesome. And I guess the only other thing that I really want to ask, I mean, as an instructor at the Kubert School, what advice would you give to new talent looking to break into this industry?
That's a very good question. I always appreciate the opportunity to talk about it. It's the big three. This is what I tell the students. You have to have talent. Now, when you first start, you're not necessarily Adam Hughes. You figure these things out, you work on it. So, develop your talent, deadlines. You can be the best artist in the world, but if you can't produce for a regular scheduling, like a publishing scheduled title, you're no good to anybody in comics if you can't hit deadlines. Now, we all screw them up sometimes.
Right.
Okay, but talent, hit the deadlines, and just be easy to work with. Don't be a jerk. It's really that simple. If you have the talent, if you're dedicated and you're making your editors and your art directors happy as far as your deadlines, and you're not being a prima donna or a jerk, then you're going to do fine.
All right. Well, Darren, thank you
right.
very much for stopping by. I do appreciate it.
Thanks for your interest.
Hey, no problem. And
all right,
thank
we'll see you around. Nice meeting you today.
Nice meeting you as well. And thank you for tuning in to Comic-Booksters Williamsport Comic Con 2017 coverage.
What's up? And that does it for our interviews that we were able to do at Williamsport Comic Con 2017. I really cannot thank Dave Sharp, Aletha Martinez, Greg LaRoque, and Darren Auck enough. I hope you enjoyed them. If you did, hit that like button and subscribe to the Comic-Booster podcast. Share this with your friends. And also feel free to check us out on OutrightGeekery.com. Thank you very much. Keep reading.